Arman Sarukian is out and Renato Moicano is in. UFC 311 just got a lot crazier, and I am kind of disappointed. I wanted to see the fight between Arman and Islam, but unfortunately, we're not going to see that. Moicano, a lot of people like him. People are going to be hyped for this matchup. I am curious, though, where is Charles Oliveira? He was supposed to be the backup fighter. I feel like people would have been much more excited for that fight. I feel like it would have been much more competitive. But regardless, Moicano, he was supposed to fight Dariush. He was the favorite against Dariush, who is a very good fighter. Everyone has a shot. This is MMA. Anything could happen. And how do I see the fight going? Breaking down the fight. For starters, Renato, he has to press forward, or else he's just going to get outkicked, outstruck. Similar to Merab versus Umar, where they have to be ultra aggressive. That may get them caught. That may lose them the fight, but still they have to. Hernandez was landing good body kicks, who is also a southpaw. Now, in that fight, Hernandez, he's not really similar to Makhachev, but in the way where he's super fast, he has fast kicks, he's fast, he's powerful, super athletic, explosive, very similar in that sense. Now, Moicano, he did land some good body kicks himself. Moicano has a lot of experience against southpaw fighters. He fought, again, Hernandez. He fought RDA. He fought Jalen Turner in southpaw. He does have experience. Now, usually he doesn't have a ton of success in these moments. He was able to land some good body kicks himself against RDA, who, again, is a southpaw. But RDA was landing much more body kicks against Moicano. Again, the southpaw stance, he was having a lot more success in that fashion. Now, Moicano, his main path to victory in a lot of his fights, he likes to clinch in the center of the octagon and then eventually get the takedown. He likes to hold on to it. He likes to eventually get you down in the center, control you, land some good ground and pound, and just kind of ride out the round. He does try to finish fights. We saw that in the Turner fight where he finished him with ground and pound. So he is somewhat of a finisher. You know, he did technically finish BSD. Moicano, again, he has solid control on top. He has solid ground and pound. I still think that his control and ground and pound, though, isn't on the same level as a Islam Makhachev. And even still, this path to getting the takedown doesn't always work with him. We saw Drew Dober was able to take him down off of this and control him. He stayed in his guard and landed some nasty ground and pound in the second round. He cut him open bad, which, again, if Drew Dober, who is very powerful, is doing that to you, I don't want to do MMA math, but if Islam Makhachev is in that scenario, which he likely will be in, and Islam, even though he isn't much of a ground and pound guy, he's more of a submission guy. We saw RDA wasn't able to submit Moicano. He got close in some rounds, but not really. Moicano does have pretty good submission defense, so maybe that's his path to victory, is hope Islam doesn't go for ground and pound. He goes for the submission, and Moicano is able to defend, and he hopes that Islam Makhachev is going to gas out. I feel like that's one of Moicano's main ways to victory because he has very good recovery. We saw in the RDA fight, he got hurt so many times, and even in the fifth round, he took it on short notice in similar fashion. He was able to push the pace. We saw in the Turner fight how good his recovery is. He was done in the first round, comes back and wins the second. Moicano, he does get tired sometimes, and he does drop his hands, which can lead him to getting hurt, but he has such good recovery that he's able to stay into the fight. He has pretty good cardio, so does Islam Makhachev, but with this sort of takedown that Moicano likes to get, Islam Makhachev, he's likely going to counter this with, again, staying in the clinch, landing his knees to the body. He is one of the best clinch fighters in the UFC. RDA was kind of doing the same thing that Makhachev would likely do against Moicano, and he was having a ton of success doing it. I could also see the knee up the middle landing for Makhachev, even though Moicano is taller. When he's tired in the later rounds, if he survives, I could see Islam landing that when Moicano's defense gets a little bit lazy in the later rounds. Moicano, in the second round of the Hernandez fight, he had much more success being aggressive, being on the front foot, and landing good shots in the pocket. He loves to go to the uppercut, especially in the pocket. Hernandez, again, super athletic, powerful, but in terms of striking defense, when he was getting hit a lot against Moicano in the second round, and grappling defense, it's nowhere near the level of Makhachev. But when it comes to fighting in close range, again, I think that favors Islam Makhachev again. Moicano does sometimes have success in the pocket. He's very well-rounded, so he's solid everywhere. I feel like Makhachev, the difference is Makhachev is also well-rounded, but he's great everywhere. He's not just solid, he's great. And I think Jalen Turner was able to land a counter left in the pocket in the southpaw stance, which that should have been the fight. That should have finished Renato Moicano. Jalen Turner is very fast. Islam Makhachev is also very fast, and he's also a counter striker. I could see him landing that shot and hurting Moicano. Again, Islam Makhachev has many paths to victory here. Drew Dober, he landed a few good shots, but again, he's just known for poor takedown defense. And anytime he would land a few shots, he would close the distance, going kind of for the finish, and Moicano would again just shoot in the middle, and he would eventually get him down. Moicano was very stubborn. Even though he won the first, lost the second, he was staying with that takedown. He was staying with it. He was determined, almost like a Marab. Just shoot, 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 no matter what. Moicano, when he shoots, I could also see Islam Makhachev not only getting knees to the body in the clinch, but pushing him back against the fence and then securing the takedown. We saw RDA control him on the ground for long periods of time. We saw RDA take him down against the fence, and that was a large part of that fight. I know Moicano is better now than he was then a few years ago, but still, RDA is a phenomenal grappler, so it's not anything, him getting controlled by RDA on short notice. It's not bad, but again, you're fighting Islam Makhachev. There's just levels to this. I could also see Islam keeping the fight at range and just landing the cleaner strikes. Again, kind of similar to the Umar fight, where I could see Umar doing that as well. I can even see Islam landing the head kick that RDA landed multiple times, and he nearly knocked him out with it. Moicano, if RDA didn't go to the ground with him, Moicano is likely out of that fight. I just feel like a lot of these guys, like Jalen Turner, like RDA in moments, their fight IQ kind of gets them. And I don't think Islam is going to have that problem at all. Again, he has phenomenal fight IQ. He's great everywhere. I could see him landing that head kick. I really could. I think Islam arguably has better kicks than RDA. I could see him finishing him with that Volkanovski style, even though Moicano is a much taller opponent. Now, Moicano, if they do clinch, he does have good knees himself. Again, in the clinch, knees to the body, that he probably will land, but they're just not. Not only are they not as good as Islam's, they're not as good as Charles Oliveira in the clinch. He's one of the best clinch fighters, and he still couldn't figure out Islam Makhachev in the clinch. He's just going to lose that exchange more times than not. If he gets ultra aggressive, which I think is his main path to victory, I think he probably should shoot on Islam. He probably gets countered in the pocket and he gets knocked out. Or he not gasses himself out, but he's going to get tired, his hands are going to come down, and then Islam is able to put him away. I think Moicano will just use the same tactic that Islam uses. If Moicano is on the front foot, Makhachev is just going to clinch, knee to the body. And maybe Makhachev goes for the takedown. I could also see that. And he probably is going to have success that way as well. Islam Makhachev, I could see him controlling him for periods of time and outstriking him on the feet. In terms of physicality, Islam is stronger, he's bigger, he's faster, he's more powerful, and he has a better chin. He's pretty much better everywhere than Moicano. I also believe Moicano was fighting for a 3-rounder, so his cardio may not be on par. I don't think he's going to gas out. Again, he always pushes himself, similar to Dricus du Plessis, where you could tell he's tired. He's not going to stop fighting. He's not going to give up on himself. That's probably one of his best qualities. And how do I see this fight going? I think you have to go with Islam Makhachev. You just have to. Moicano, I think he's going to shoot. I think he'll be aggressive, which again is going to be his best chance. Maybe he's patient early on and hopes to be more aggressive in the later rounds. He had success at the very end of the RDA fight when he was bloodied, tired, everything, going forward. When RDA, again, he was coasting, so it's not really going to be the same. RDA was tired, where unless Moicano makes it to the 5th round and he's having success, then that could happen, but I just doubt it. Moicano, I just don't think he has a great shot in this fight. I think both guys are going to succeed with body kicks. Islam is just better everywhere. He's going to outstrike him. And I could see Islam finishing Moicano in so many different ways. He could finish him with the body kicks, like the straight shots, similar to Jalen Turner, or the front kick to the body. I could also see that. I could see the head kick similar to RDA and the Volkanovski fight. I could see him finding the counter in the pocket similar to Jalen Turner. I mean, there are many ways that he could beat Moicano. I could also just see him controlling him on the ground for 5 rounds, similar to RDA, and winning the fight. Except this time, much more dominant, and Moicano doesn't find the success in the 5th round. I think Islam is going to push him against the fence, take him down relatively easily. I think he's going to rack up control time in the 1st round, and I do believe he will finish Moicano. I think that we are going to see Islam fighting him on the feet. I think that he's going to hurt him and drop him, and he's going to land ground and pound TKO in the 2nd round is my prediction. Let me know what you guys think of this fight. Let me know who you guys got. Kind of a short notice breakdown, so not the best, but still let me know who you guys got. That is it for me. And yeah.